So, you just downloaded Hearthstone. Welcome to the club! Now at first, the things you can do might overwhelm you, but to help you not waste your time and get right into playing the wild game mode, here are the first 5 things you should do after downloading Hearthstone.
Busy night, but there's always room for another.
Now, for this first tip, don't act like it's obvious and I think you guys are all incompetent. No, I just don't want to understate how important it is to play through the tutorial ranks. I legitimately feel that if I personally didn't, I would not be playing right now. They are just important to firstly give you a better understanding of how the game works, like the flow and strategy of matches, and just how complex things can be. Secondly, to just help you build up your card collection. You get 30 classic packs in total, which may not sound like much, but believe me, it will help so much. You can experiment much more, and while I would not advise it if you are planning on playing Wild, you can craft some standard cards by disenchanting unwanted cards you receive. But when you beat all the ranks and unlock the Wild game mode, you can really go wild and disenchant anything you don't want. You can craft a few amazing legendaries or loads of other cards, which will almost always be better than their classic set counterparts. So do not ever skip the apprentice ranks, you need to play them. The next thing I would do is unlock all of the classes in the game. There is a high chance that you've already unlocked all of the starter classes. You know, the ones you get by beating in the practice mode. If you haven't, I would obviously do that first. But to get the last class, Demon Hunter, it takes a bit more effort. You have to beat the first 3 levels in the Ashes of Outlands prologue, which is located in the solo adventures section. Once you do beat all the levels, you unlock the new class and loads of cards for it. You can actually build a viable deck just from the free cards you get for Demon Hunter. I would definitely make unlocking him a priority. Next is something you will want to do once you've unlocked the Wild format. That is completing the first wing of the Knights of the Frozen Throne expansion. It sounds intimidating, but trust me, it's impossible to lose. It takes longer to literally download the expansion than it does to actually beat the first wing. You need to go onto the Blizzard store itself and buy it. It doesn't come pre-installed in the Hearthstone app. It's free, obviously, but it just takes a bit more effort. Once you do, you just play through the first wing. It's impossible to lose, like I said. And then once you do that, you get a random legendary Death Knight card. This is actually insane. Almost all of them are incredibly strong, and some like Blood Reaver Gul'dan and Shadow Reaper Anduin are always meta cards, so getting them for free is a godsend and incredibly helpful for new players. Even if you get a weaker one like Uther or Garrosh, you can always just get 400 dust, which is enough to craft the best epic in the game, as I like to say. Just don't waste your time on the wings after. They take lots of time to beat, and you just get a single pack for completing each one. Now, this next step is very important. You just need to pick your favorite class and craft a meta deck for it. In my last video, I did go over an easy deck to play for each class, but if you are unsure, you can always go on sites like Hearthstone Top Decks to find a deck you are interested in. You can then craft it by disenchanting cards that are even bad or you have no interest in using. It is crucial to have a good deck in Wild if you want to win on ladder. In general, decks are just much more focused and strong since they have access to more cards from all expansions. If you want to actually win and get to Legend, you will need a proper deck, so spend a good amount of time finding one you will enjoy playing and winning with. Now this last thing will probably be the most time consuming of all, but just open packs. Specifically, open a maximum of 10 packs from each expansion. You are physically guaranteed to get a legendary in the first packs of an expansion you have never opened before. Don't immediately buy 10 packs though, buy them one at a time. You want to maximize your gold as much as possible. This is the order in which I would buy packs for the expansions. This mostly revolves around how powerful the cards are, the expansion's relevancy, and how many good cards you could open. The ranking goes from best to worst. Number 1, Knights of the Frozen Throne. The Death Knights you can get are just incredible. That's why the free one you get from the story mode I talked about earlier is such a big deal. Number 2, Saviors of Uldum. Just lots of strong legendaries such as Zephrys and all of the Highlander cards in general. Number 3, Ashes of Outlands. All the prime cards are good, except for Shamans, and lots of commons and rares see play in many decks. Number 4, Scholarman's Academy. Just strong cards that are just direct upgrades to old ones, and there's dual class legendaries so you can use them in 2 classes instead of just 1. Number 5, Kobolds and Catacombs. This set has honestly held up really well. While many of the best cards from the set are epics, there are still plenty of incredible legendaries to get, such as Kingsbane. Number 6, Descent of Dragons. Honestly, just a bunch of good cards. Not much more complicated than that. Number 7, Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. A lot of broken legendaries, but most Gadgetzan cards have been power creeped out of the game, so there's that. But you can get patches in this set. I think that sums it up. Number 8, the Boomsday Project. A bit of an oddball choice, but so many Boomsday cards are incredibly fun to use, and you still have some god tier cards like Ziliax and Mechathune. Number 9, Journey to Ungoro. People do not give Ungoro enough credit. While none of the legendaries are insane standouts on their own, they are definitely good to open, and you can get some more niche cards you would not be willing to craft otherwise. Number 10, Rise of Shadows. Just lots of good cards. Fun cards as well, but nothing on the crazy power level side. Number 11, Dark Moonfair. Honestly, no real standout cards. I was pretty disappointed with the legendaries from this expansion. Some good stuff definitely, but nothing to get really excited over. Number 12, Whispers of the Old Gods. There's Yeshuraj for Rogue and Warlock, Nazoth for Big Decks, Not Big Priest, and Yogg if you like random and animations. That's about it, really. Number 13, Rustican's Rumble. It has 3 alright legendaries, some good commons, and rares. That's about it. Number 14, Witchwood. There's Shudderrock. That's it. Gen and Baku are both in the Hall of Fame, so they don't count, but you're really opening packs for Shudderrock. Number 15, the Grand Tournament. I personally have a soft spot for this expansion. I really love its theming. But the cards, there's Aviana, some commons and rares. That's about it, really. The Grand Tournament is so bad. And lastly, number 16, Goblins vs. Gnomes. This and the Grand Tournament are both bad expansions. We can all agree on that. For me personally, picking which was higher, I ask myself this. Do I like Mal'Ganis or Aviana more? Aviana won. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're a new player, I really hope this can give you a strong start in Hearthstone. Zidud out.